What's going on, everybody? It's K4K Crypto here. We're going to talk about PulseX and the trading fees and how those are different from network fees. Now, before we get into that, make sure you like the video so we can get this video to as many people as possible. Spreading good information is just good for everyone. That way more people are in the aware about it, and it helps the algorithm get the video to more eyeballs. We want more people in these projects, not less, guys. So like the video. You're going to like this video, so might as well just get it over with. All right, let's get into it. First, let's check out this freaking awesome... We're almost at $1 billion sacrifice, guys. Amazing. But that's not what this video is about. Let's get to it. So, this is straight from the PulseX website. Look at this. Okay. There's a 0.29% fee that users must pay on every swap. And that's of the dollar value, or it's a if you could, if you know, people are like, well, there's no dollar value at the start. It doesn't matter either. It's 0.29% of the units used in a trade for a buy. Okay, so that's all that matters. So even though there's no dollars at the start pre-bridge, it doesn't like mess the whole thing up. It just uses 0.29% of the units used for a purchase. So that's a less fee than, and this is for all users. So anybody purchasing things on this PulseX DEX actually pay less than on SushiSwap, Trader Joe's, QuickSwap, and Uniswap. By about 3.5%, it's cheaper for you. All right, so 76% of all these trading fees, they stay with the liquidity provider. Like on Uniswap, normally they have a 0.3% fee, and so they get to keep 100% of the trading fees instead of this other action we have going on here. So LPs get to keep only 76% in this, and 21% of that, which is 0.06% of the fee, of this, oh, well, not percent of the fee, but 0.06 of the 0.29 fee, that is what this 21% represents. That is set aside and used for buying PulseX. And I'm going to go through these awesome examples I got for you. And this is going to reduce PulseX supply over time and actively market buy the price up. And it's going to be very significant, guys. It's not going to be super low like some people talking about network fees being cheap, and so that means it's gonna be like of 5 cents you get 21% of that. No, you'll understand at the end of this video. And then there's 0.1% fee. This is all part of this, so it's 0.01 of 0.29 of a trade's value goes to an address you have no expectations of. All right, let's get into it. Boom. This is Uniswap version 2 analytics. You have to make sure you're looking at version 2 because Uniswap v3 has totally different liquidity, totally different volume. So imagine this is PulseX DEX. Now we're going to check out, see 385 million in DEX volume. Let me make myself smaller here. Don't want to block anything. $385 million of volume. Okay, now right there you can just notice that's not network transaction fees. This is from the volume of a trade. So these are the fees generated. Let me zoom in here. All right, let's get it. These are the fees that it goes all to the liquidity providers in the Uniswap system. In PulseX, however, 21% of these fees will be used to buy PulseX every day. Okay? And that's only with $385 million of volume. So let me break it down for you just so you know the math's correct. You go over here, this is just Wolfram Alpha, makes it easy to do math. You can use words without having to know much about math. So you type in 385.4 million times a 0.30% fee. It's the same result we had on the other screen. Look at that. So we know this math works, okay? That was the amount of fees. This was the amount of volume. All right, now let's do it as if it was PulseX, guys. We got 385.4 million, and now we're just using this is the amount that would be used for buy and burn. Okay, so we can use this to figure out this is going to be $230,000 worth of buy and burn just for that amount of volume. Okay, so that's pretty sick. Now let's do it for, this is another way you can figure it out if you want to use different math. So if you want to know what percent of 0.29 0.06 is, because this is the total trade fee, and then this is the amount of this that is used for buy and burn. And so if you want to do it that way, you can figure it's 20.69%. Like we saw on this page, 21% they're rounding up. So we're actually being more accurate than this page even shows because we're doing the math ourselves. All right, so you can do it this way then. You take the amount of fees, which was this amount, and you can multiply it by this amount, by the percentage of the amount that's buy and burn of the total fees, and you get the same result over here. Now, the reason this is a little bit higher than this one is because this one is going off of like a 0.3% fee, and we're doing this off of oops, one second here. We're doing it off the 0.29. So it's a little bit more, but trust me, it's accurate. All right, so now imagine we have $1 billion in volume a day. What does that equal? This is the buy and burn. We know this percent works. That's $600,000 of buying pressure. It literally doesn't care what the price is. It'll go in and 600K market buy a day on that. That's amazing. That's insane. And so if people still don't understand that this isn't anything to do with transaction, like network transaction costs, here, well, 1 second, we'll go to here. Oh yeah, so this is how you can figure out how much the liquidity providers are keeping of that fee. They're keeping 75.86%. Now I made this little presentation. I know we're going kind of fast through here, but here you go. Imagine this trade scenario. This will break it down for everybody. It's a $10,000 trade. You got 10,000 USDC. Okay, well, you're going to make a trade. First, you pay a network gas fee of pennies worth of PLS. To do anything on the Pulse network, you have to pay a gas fee to the validators for them to include it in a block. That is not what the PLSX buy and burn is for. That actually happens next whenever it's calculating that fee towards the amount being traded. So this actually scales up with the value being traded. So this is just a small example. It's going to be like, no, this is not going to be a lot. Well, it's actually going to be huge when $10,000. This is just to make it easier for people to understand it with smaller numbers, and it wouldn't take up as much screen room. But as you saw, Uniswap has almost like 400 million, like $500 million. Sometimes it has daily billions dollars worth of total volume. And so this would add $10,000 of volume just for one trade. So how would that look? This is the 0.29% fee breakdown. So if I were to trade 10,000 USDC, whenever I make that trade, $29 of it is given to the liquidity providers. It's split up. What's technically put into this little contract that separates the 29, then it actually divvies this up based on these other parameters. So 0.06%, which is the buy and burn amount. So $6 of the 29 is used to buy and burn PLSX. That's 20.69%. 0.01% of the 0.29 would be $1 sent to a no expectations address, and that can be used for whatever that address wants to do. And so that leaves 0.22 of the 0.29% left, and that $22 of the fee is kept by the liquidity providers. And so you can just scale this up to, we could have $10 billion of volume. And so that is why I think PulseX is so awesome, because as we get more and more users and more trading, more volume, which we should have, and I'll get into that, as we scale that up, we're just going to be freaking balling because we're going to be balling because all of this extra trading just has this huge amount that gets just funneled into buying PulseX. Like we said, if you have $1 billion of volume a day, this is per day, $600,000 of buy pressure extra. That means if no one did any buying or selling, the price is moving up, okay? Because the platform's just buying itself up, removing it. So that's amazing. Now let's see here. Right, so some people were wondering, oh, since it's so cheap on Pulsechain to transact, that would make it there'd be less volume, but it actually means there should be even more volume in the DEX. Let me explain why. There should be even more volume because if you look at Ethereum and how many fees were used in their DEX, like just doing trades and stuff, and how many fees went to the network, so you understand, it's going to the network. There was $1.5 billion worth gone to the network, which could have been actual volume. Because you know how in this example, let's see, I said, first you pay a network gas fee of pennies worth of Pulse. Well, on Ethereum, they have to send some, like you've noticed, okay, I have to pay this gas transaction to do the trade on Ethereum. That is money that isn't volume. Well, because, I'll explain a little further, because it's not part of the trade. It's just taken out of, like, you have to have that extra reserve capital in order to actually do the trade. It's not used as volume. And so if you actually got to keep that money, that's more money that you can actually use to trade, which would be real volume because you only had to keep a reserve of like a penny of Pulse in order to do the network transaction to do the trade. So instead of having to keep this reserve of thousands of dollars because you're going to do Uniswap transaction fees on Ethereum, you could just use those thousands of dollars to trade with because you know you only need $1 worth of Pulse to do all your trading. And so we unlock like an extra, and this was over just a year and a half or something, but most of it was in the last 6 months for all that crazy gas fees for Ethereum. And so we've unlocked this extra $1.5 billion worth of potential volume that can just actually be used into the DEX because it's so cheap to trade. You can use almost all of your stack as opposed to saving some in order to afford transactions for the network. So we should have actually more volume than any other DEX in the world. Let me tell you why. What do you think happens whenever we give everyone who has any coins on the Ethereum network copies? And all those copies can be paired, and there will be pairs because they'll all be incentivized with the inflation token, which is coming out. That creates literally double the amount of pairs in our DEX versus any other DEX. We're going to have double the pairs. And there's going to be a lot of people trading in their value. A lot of people are going to be like, I don't like the Pulsechain network. I'm just going to take my free airdrop. Brr, okay, you sold out. You just created a bunch of volume. Okay, you want to buy in? You want to sell your ERC20, your wrapped ERC20 you brought in for the Pulse network version? You just made a lot of volume. And if you're a PulseX holder, you don't care who's trading what. They can trade 20,000 different pairs. You're just like, all right, I'm taking 21% of your fee, buddy, and it's going to buy up my coin. It doesn't buy up any other coin, guys. Just PulseX. Now, I'm not saying that Pulse is going to do so bad compared to PulseX. I just think this is crazy how we've never had a DEX token that's deflationary and gets bought up automatically kind of like this before. So we can see hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of buy pressure per day, scaling into the millions. We may even see millions of dollars worth of automatic buy pressure within the first few months, just because these liquidity events are so volatile and people try to get in early, because if you're the only guy LPing in a pair, you get 100% of the inflation token that goes to you per block. So that is huge. As soon as the second guy gets in, you got to split it with him. As soon as the third guy gets, you got to split it with him. So it's going to be this fast get in, start farming, and then more people will see, wow, it's still working over there, and it's just way cheaper to trade. And so I get to keep more of my capital, and so I'll use more of my capital over there, creating more volume. It's going to be amazing. So if you guys learned anything from this video, be sure to hit the like. I can't believe it was already 15 minutes. I feel like I just started talking. Maybe it's the coffee. I think I'm talking faster today. Anyway, yeah, get excited, guys. We are going to absolutely crush 2022. If you like this video, please hit the like. Get the word out. Spread the video. Share it. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell. Then you can see my other videos. I have explained something like this in other videos. I just, I didn't make a whole video on it. So here we go. Hope this helped out. Peace. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. I really appreciate you guys helping me out with the channel, liking and commenting, subscribing. This is how we make impact in the world. We're not going to make impact if people don't hear our message. So spreading good information when you find it helps everyone, and it helps yourself. So feel free to check out these videos I have recommended here. And thank you again for supporting the channel. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end. I really appreciate you guys helping me out with the channel, liking and commenting, subscribing. This is how we make impact in the world. We're not going to make impact if people don't hear our message. So spreading good information when you find it helps everyone, and it helps yourself. So feel free to check out these videos I have recommended here. And thank you again for supporting the channel.